Uh, so we have a problem.
Uh-oh.
I hit start recording and it says there is too many concurrent sessions. Try closing the other recording software, which might be using Shadow Player Windows 10's view. I only have the same stuff open I always have open.
Yeah, that's one of them kind of things that the only thing I could honestly think to do is to restart.
But we already went live!
But yeah, I'm like, we already went live.
I'm trying to close anything that we don't like need, but the only thing I can imagine is they might be referring to how I have a different camera open for Discord. This could suck for you for tonight, but let's try this, and it's going to move you over, but we'll see. Holy shit, it's literally because of the Discord camera.
Really? Wow. Okay.
But hopefully that worked, because I just turned it back on and it didn't give me any kind of error. Although, we'll see when I go to open the file after if the whole damn thing's corrupt or something.
Hopefully not.
You can just hope. Worst case scenario, we just have a live show up for tonight. That's the worst case scenario.
Might happen. We can deal with that.
You know, stuff happens. At least it's not an absence of everything. It's just not everything. Well, it's not. It will. Worst case scenario, we don't have the little breakdowns. Content still exists. Not the worst thing. I forgot how to do this opening speech though.
It's Wednesday night.
And you know what that means?
You know what that means.
We're Top Rope Tokes here to review AEW Dynamite, and this is the most appropriate opening for this show ever, considering our name. Again, Top Rope Tokes. I'm just saying that guy over there.
Range of motions. God damn.
Hey.
Yeah, we made it. We're here.
And we're on brand.
About Dynamite. And we actually have the Dynamite graphic up too.
I didn't forget everything, man.
Hey, so look at that. Bam. We're Dynamite.
So, I wanted to talk about the main event, but I feel like we can't talk about the main event without first talking about the opening match of the night, which was the Orange Cassidy Wheeler Yuta match, because it definitely played into kind of everything that went down later on. So to start, because I know you missed the start of the show because of some technical difficulties. Remember, Wheeler Yuta is a Ring of Honor champion. Ring of Honor, they have the Code of Honor. They shake hands to start matches. Even though this wasn't for his title, Orange Cassidy actually extended his hand to his former friend. But Wheeler Yuta was like, and then took a swing at him. No honor.
Hey, it's all about them belts. BCC's all about belts now. Okay.
So, what ends up happening is they start off like wrestling, which makes sense. It's pure champion, former friend. It makes all the sense in the world. That'd be more pure wrestling. At one point, Yuta ends up outside of the ring, and then Claudio comes down and he slaps Yuta and says, "This is serious," and something along the lines of, "Their BCC, screw this pretty wrestling shit." And he gets back in the ring and he is completely motivated.
Yeah. Okay. And then I pretty much am caught up now.
Yeah, I figured that
Yeah.
was about where he came in because that's just when he went on a rampage and was like tossing Orange Cassidy all around ringside.
Yeah.
Have you booze?
Yeah, people were happy to hate him. So good move. Good heel turn for him and Claudio here, I think.
And then, yeah, we talked about during the show, like the two that lack personality the most. It makes all the sense in the world to kind of kick it off with them.
Right.
And we kind of saw it coming on Rampage with the promo. Like when you relate yourself to being the bully, you can't be the baby face.
Yeah, I honestly didn't think that was, I thought it was just a weird promo. I didn't think this was the way it was going. But you called it, though.
Yeah, it felt very like, is he trying to go heel? Or is he just trying to, because it felt like he was being more of a dick than trying to be a badass.
Yeah. Yeah, and then this match here solidified that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, he wants to be a dick now.
You were there for the point when Orange Cassidy tried to give you the hug, right?
Yes.
Well, when he actually did give him the hug. Because he was like doing the up kicks or whatever, that he held him up.
Yeah.
So try to do the whole best friends hug. That did not go well. And then what we probably thought was going to be the most unhygienic point of the night happened. We ended up being wrong on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, they were spit swapping out there. And by spit swapping, I mean they were spitting on each other.
Yuta did his gum and it sucked like Orange Cassidy's cheek. And he was like, what the fuck? And then just spit right back in his face.
Yeah. Yeah, so they both got spit on each other today. That's nasty.
Mind you, this was for the All Atlantic Championship. And it was the only title match.
Spit championship.
And it was the night opener, so you kind of start to wonder about. At this point, we knew what the main event was going to be, but you knew they had to have something planned for it to make it matter. We actually thought this match, the way they're going, might have ended up as a draw.
I was hoping for it to go to a draw. I thought this would be a fitting challenge for Orange Cassidy at Revolution.
So, did they ever make the announcement for like 1 minute left or anything like that?
They did not. They just started to make mention to the fact that there is a 20-minute time limit as it was getting closer to 20 minutes.
I feel like it had to be about 18 at the least.
Yeah, because it was pretty close. I felt, because if the match started pretty much at the beginning of the show,
well, you had the entrances.
Yeah, you had entrances, but yeah, there could have only been a couple minutes because it was after 8:20 when the match ended. Yeah.
And it's not like either of them have a Moxley type entrance where they take forever.
Right. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. That's why I was like, oh man, it's going to be a draw and they're going to have a rematch at Revolution.
So,
I'd be down.
In the end, though, Orange Cassidy gets the win with 2 orange punches. The second one while Yuta was on his knees. He goes to end up trying to help up Yuta after, and he kind of pushes himself away, and then Claudio comes back out, and what do you say to him, basically?
You, boy, here, now. And then Yuta came straight over there like a little kid in trouble.
if he got more jacked and grew a beard, it'd be a very Kratos God of War type moment. Boy.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was. It was like, so Claudio is Yuta's dad now. Good to know.
So from there, before we get to the main event, there was a little moment with Renee, who, again, is always the one doing this with Hangman, and she's the wife of Mox, but she's with Uno and Hangman backstage.
Yeah, Uno was fired up. He's like, Hangman, we know you look down on us. Like, you don't want to be a member. Like, well, come on now. It's obvious. He doesn't want to be a part of the Dark Order because you guys are, it's in the name. You guys are on AEW Dark.
He's like, every time that you say you don't want to get us involved, it's because you think you're better than us. That Dark Order isn't on his level. But the whole question was, how do you prepare for Mox, one of the most violent people? And Uno says he's going to show everyone why his name is Evil Uno. And, in normal situations, you think of this match, and you're thinking squash, and it's not going to be anything special. Holy shit.
But if it, you're putting this on as a main event, it's obviously not going to be a squash. And it's Evil Uno having all this heart, showing all this heart, and being so upset about Hangman looking down on them. So he's got to show, he's got to show him against this asshole Mox.
But still, the end result of this match kind of, we were sitting there kind of in shock as to what the hell we were witnessing. This match, actually, they're hyping up in the very beginning that this is Mox's chance to become the first person in AEW to get to 100 wins. They show very, very quickly Hangman watching backstage. I'm very thankful, they don't do the funny thing where you gotta stand towards the camera and look sideways with them. Early on in this match, Uno actually had the offense.
Yeah, he was the only highlights of this match. Honestly, like Mox was he was Mox, I guess.
Oh,
actually, and he really wasn't even all Mox.
I have the graphic up because what you're thinking of is probably where I would go for Hidden Night if you weren't using it there already.
Okay. Well, there we go. One of us has definitely used it.
I don't care how I do the work because, Uno has the offense. Mox actually gets out of it a little bit by tearing at his mask, but Uno boots his ass over the top rope. And then we get to see something I'm not sure I thought I'd see.
Yeah, you get to see Evil Uno, out of shape looking ass, come off the top rope, hit a senton onto Jon Moxley outside the ring. And I just imagined when he did that, if he were to be going into a pool, nobody would be safe.
Honestly,
that splash would hit everyone.
In commentary, one of them, I forget who it was, he was like, that's like having a Fiat coming down on you. I'm like, oh, come on, but yes.
That's almost a Fiat. Now I need to know, how much does a Fiat weigh?
So while you're looking that up, honestly, I thought that was going to be the biggest shock of this match. Holy crap, that's the big cool thing. Might have been the coolest thing of this match because towards the end, after that happens, there's a big Let's Go Uno chant, by the way. But when they're outside,
505 pounds. I don't think Uno's quite that much, but
while they're fighting outside, Mox ends up stomping Uno's head onto the steel steps. And when Uno gets back into the ring, he is busted wide open.
Oh. I've never seen Moxley bleed as much as Uno was bleeding tonight.
I can think of one match that it rivals, and that's when Cody faced his brother Dustin at All In. Because Dustin took a spot that hit not quite the right way and went too deep, and it was bad. Like, you could see it pouring like a faucet, like straight at points. That being said, I had a thought. What if they knew that he was going to bleed, but because he does have a mask on, what if at some point when he was outside the ring, he's put like blood capsules underneath his mask to, because he was definitely cut, you could see it, but to enhance the amount of blood just to add more.
I hope so.
That was a lot of blood.
Because I hope so. I hope that's what happened, because he lost. If not, he lost a lot of blood. Because and just see, I didn't have my camera on, but I saw your face through the whole thing when Moxley's got him in the sleeper, and then just blood is just spurting out of his face, and I was like, "Oh, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see that. Oh God."
Yeah, because
like, spraying, like horror film spraying.
Mm-hmm. So he gets him into like a sleeper, drops him for the hammers and elbows, and then does rear naked choke. No, sorry, not quite yet. He gets him into the bulldog.
The bulldog.
And while this is happening, yeah, it's like the horror movie scenes when somebody does like an axe or a sword or something, and you see the splatter up against the wall, because just on his armbands, it would just be like a few giant drops every second. Like with every heartbeat.
Like when Moxley would tighten in the hold a little bit, you would just see just blood just popping out. Oh God.
It was so much. And then after he didn't want to let go, they were like, oh, we're sending a message and everything. Until
he sent a message already.
Silver and Reynolds come down to make the save, but they're greeted by Claudio, I keep almost wanting to call him the other name. So full, like, obvious heel turns.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, with the newly heel Claudio and Yuta.
Which Uno just laying in the middle of the ring, not moving, while they're battling. Hangman's music hit, runs down, of course, right after Mox.
Yeah, I thought Moxley was not going to bleed today. So if I had a place to bet that Moxley was going to bleed during his match, I would have lost. Because Mox did not bleed during the match today. But he, in fact, waited until the last minute of Dynamite. It was 9:59 when he finally bleeds, because Hangman has some barbed wire in his pocket and punches him in the face with it.
You know, and
it's like Moxley isn't gonna bleed tonight. The fuck?
He ended up having a lot of blood on his face, but the crazy thing was, despite the other man wearing a mask, and you couldn't see it, you knew he was bleeding worse.
Yeah, it was way worse.
I
hope that wasn't all real.
If you are a squeamish person, do not go back and watch clips of that.
Because I'm not gonna watch it again. Not a chance.
I mean, maybe some of the other stuff, like the highlights before, but once I know that match is over, I'm gonna be like, once that first choke happens or whatever, I'm gonna be like, out. Because I don't want to see when it gets into the bulldog and you just see it just.
Yeah.
So clearly Mox won.
Yeah, definitely Mox wins. Definitely.
That wasn't obvious.
Uno gets all the best offense in this. It just, and then him bleeding profusely made it look like everything that Mox did was brutal. So
I hope this is just a start of something for
match
Dark
will
Order.
love it.
I really hope it's the start of something for them.
They deserve it. They deserve it. Plus, you gotta love John Silver, man.
Yeah, he's so much fun. I don't know.
So
I feel it would kind of be a crime if they never, as over as they were, because it's died down. They should have had, maybe not win the titles, but they should have had like a decent run where you could have featured them.
Yeah, like on TV.
I mean, I guess they did alongside Hangman's run to the AEW title, because there was a whole. No, but they lost their title match. And then Hangman got his title match because he won the casino.
He went to the casino.
He won the casino battle or ladder match. His championship match back. So the exiled member of BCC had a nice promo segment tonight with Bryan Danielson, since he's not turning heel.
Yeah, he's definitely staying on the babyface side, because you got to be a babyface if you're going against MJF for MJF's MJF stuff to work.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about his side of things, how it started off tonight, but I want to know if you have the same opinion of where Danielson was going with this, because of the tone and the way he was saying this. His point was MJF claims to hate him, but it was MJF who put a bounty on him. Tried to break Christopher Daniels' arm. Put his mentor Regal in the hospital. And it sounds like his point was like, no, I hate him. Like, he's given me the reason to hate him. That's how I kind of felt it was going.
Yeah. That's kind of where it seemed like he was going, which doesn't make sense, because just because you have more reason to hate him doesn't mean he can't hate you. Like, I don't know. There's definitely some celebrities out there that I hate that have no reason to hate me, and they probably don't hate me because they don't know about me.
I mean, it's not mutually exclusive. It's not one or the other. Like, he could just be saying, no, I hate you, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But before he can ever finish it, MJF's music hits.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to take the start of it, kind of where he went with it, but I want to know what you thought about how he started that off.
This was a country music song, a video. I felt like like MJF is such a whiny bitch sometimes, and I love it though. He's like, oh man, all these bad things happen to me, and I'm just like, he's talking about regular life things that happen to every single one of us, but it's the worst thing in the world when it happens to MJF. He's like, oh, well, I got down on one knee and I proposed to the girl, and I had the girl, but then she left. So now all I got is this belt. And do, got it only belt. All I got is a belt now.
Yeah, because he's like, everyone's stranded him, and he started to like hate everybody, but one woman changed his mind and showed him there could be good in people. And then she left him because
she came into my
he couldn't even stand him.
And she tried to change me. But all I like is my belt, yeah.
And then he says, like, Danielson's trying to take the one thing that brings him love, or is that what it was with Triple B?
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for Triple B, he'd swallow a whole bottle of pills.
He'd go on down to the road and end it with his shotgun.
If someone gets this far into the video on YouTube, we may get a strike.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I mean, that's what MJF said.
I thought the second half of this, I thought it was going to go a completely different direction too. talks about Danielson having it all. People love him. Has a cute wife, 2 kids, but he takes it all for granted. He's had more head trauma than anyone else in wrestling, but he, puts wrestling over them. I thought he was gonna end up. I thought his end point was gonna be, and he kind of got there. Was that he was gonna send him home for good?
Yeah. Yeah. He's gonna end his wrestling career.
So he goes
the whole talking into the camera to Danielson's kids was weird.
I thought it was also weird because of the fact Daniel said, "You do that, and I'm gonna kick the shit out of you," and then he proceeded to let him do it.
Yeah. Well, he had to let him look weird first. So that was real weird. I was like, yeah, I don't like this. This is weird. But Danielson did eventually kick the shit out of him, though.
Because he says, what, for the kids? Like, I'm gonna hurt his arm so bad, he can't play with you, he can't pick you up. And then he goes in there, he says he's gonna send him home with early CT, and they just brawl. And I thought it was nice that for once, in that situation, MJF did not run away.
Yeah, he actually fought. Even MJF has to have the brawl out before his pay-per-view matches.
But you would think it's usually the face that would just finally get their hands on him, but he knew it was coming, and he just walked right into the ring knowing it was coming.
Yeah. I appreciated it. He was just like, yeah, I did it. All right, come on.
Anything special about this Polar Park Brawl? I watched part of it and then I tuned out because it was just kind of standard.
Yeah, the forearm that Danielson hits at the end was cool, but it was just the way that they both reacted to it that made it look cool. Because they're just doing the whole brawling, barely getting in a punch in the ring and get pulled apart by 1,000 million people, and then Danielson escapes and runs away, runs all the way around the ring. And MJF by this time is outside the ring recovering at the timekeeper's table. And Danielson comes over and just nails him with a big forearm, lays him out right in front of the table and just leaves. Well, he didn't just leave, but they got him to leave after that. I think he was satisfied.
It's not a whole lot of kicking there. Danielson, you liar.
Yeah, not. That would have been better if he had just dropped the knee on him out there.
You run into the pile of the security guards holding MJF and you just do a flying drop kick. Cannonball the whole damn pile.
Hell yeah. Now I want to see Evil Uno do
that. Not even the person that friends that kick everybody, but Evil Uno, because since we've seen him fly.
Yes, I want to see him fly more. Let's not have it be a one-off.
Oh my god, because we're sitting and talking about flying, I'm like looking at the rest of the matches, I'm like, nobody really flies.
Nobody. Oh, I mean, Dante Martin was in competition, but he didn't get to fly today.
Tony Nese did.
Yeah, he got to fly.
All right, because we've already kind of transitioned to it, we'll use it, but then I just need to make like a cut point for edit, so give me a second.
Give me a second.
So there was a tag team battle royal to, insert number 3 team into the 4-way at Revolution. We both got excited because the Aussie Open was announced for the match.
Yeah, we were so excited. And then when I saw that there was no announcement of them being in there and nobody got entrances for this, I was like, yeah, they're just there. I don't know why, but they're just there.
Yeah, that's a shame doing all that travel. Except it also kind of makes sense because we did find out they will have a match on Friday night. What's that match?
Yeah, they are giving us Young Bucks versus Aussie Open on Rampage.
Which means that's going to be the opener.
So the Rampage opener is going to be a banger, y'all. And get ready for it.
Because of a video package later on tonight, we are betting that House of Black shows up at the end of that match.
Yep.
For the Young Bucks.
So we've got a third of the show covered for you guys already. So if you miss any of it, don't worry about it.
No,
you already know what happened today.
Don't miss it. Join us for the watch along.
Because it's probably actually happening right now. Or maybe have just happened. Potentially. But it might have took them a while to get Uno's blood out the ring.
So early on in this match, exciting to see Mark Briscoe in any kind of way. I've quickly started to love that man.
Yeah.
Josh Woods is getting involved on behalf of the team that he's aligned with. Sterling's out there. Briscoe runs all the way around the ring just to grab Sterling for half a second, but chases off Woods. Sterling stayed out there. He didn't really do anything else after, but...
Yeah. But yeah, he just... he messed their shit up. Appreciate that. Thank you.
They got eliminated shortly after, because I took note of two eliminations, I guess, because of the end. Because Penta, shortly after, eliminates Tony Nese with a Fear Factor on the apron, and you just see him bounce.
Yeah. You know what? Give me that other hit of the night.
It's already up.
All right.
They just... the bounce.
Yeah.
Sometimes the little dudes can sell things so amazing.
There was a few nice pile drivers tonight.
There's one that scared the hell out of me.
That was my favorite one there. Yeah, the other one was kind of...
That was the Yuta match, because it was Orange Cassidy, right? Yeah.
Yep.
You could see its head underneath his legs, and that's not something you want to see.
But that Fear Factor, though, on the apron.
Credit to Tony Nese. It was beautiful.
Because, yeah, the way he took that. He took that really well there.
Didn't he basically bounce right onto Sterling?
Yep. Yep, right on to Sterling. Man.
So, we realized very early, looking at the teams and what they've been involved with lately, that we know one of the other two teams, or one of the other two teams has to be Lethal and Jeff Jarrett.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know how I didn't realize how obvious that was.
Because even though they've already had their matches, they still somehow keep getting involved.
Yeah. Because I was like, yeah, wow. I didn't realize how obvious it was that they have to be in it.
It's fucked up because they had not one, but two different title matches already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're pushing the shit out of Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett.
I wonder, there was such a huge backlash against the Guns being made tag team champions. Do they use a 4-way match as a way to just try to move the belts over to somebody else?
Mm. Hmm.
Let's wait until next week.
I honestly don't think so here. I think, or what what I think the smartest thing to do here is to let the Guns retain, but have Daddy Ass return.
So kind of like how we were originally thinking before.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the best way to get them some actual, like, to get them a little bit more heat.
I want to.
If people hate them like that, then that's fine.
Yeah, I want to kind of revisit that next week because I think you use a Joker a lot of times to surprise, and that person ends up winning.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see who the Joker is next week and how that works out. But
Joker.
In the Casino Battle Royal.
Did they confirm the teams for that?
They did not show anything.
I didn't think so.
Not tonight. I didn't see anything.
Yeah, they'll probably like show it really fast during the main event on Rampage. Excalibur tag team.
So
good night.
For this Battle Royal, they did the final like 3v3 heel versus babyface spots, and that's when I realized. I mean, we had already talked about Lethal and Jarrett being one of the teams. But when you look up and there's 6 people left, and the only team that's intact is Lethal and Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah. At that point, you had already said it by that time, but when it was, when they were the only 2 left,
and they have a giant
team, and they were a team of 3.5.
Doesn't Satnam make up for the half that Dutt misses?
They were a team of 4. We'll give them a 4. I mean, but Dutt really didn't do anything besides have a pencil today. So that makes up for half because that pencil is important.
You want to know what I would like to see happen at some point in time?
What?
Even though I also want to see Satnam do it to him. Have a reason for them to celebrate, and Lethal has Dutt on his shoulders parading him around, just to see how Dutt on Lethal's shoulders compared to Singh is. Because it's going to be close tonight.
Yeah. Oh. I just want to see Sanjay Dutt on Satnam Singh's shoulders so that they can be the wrestling version of Freak the Mighty.
They'd end up being about, what, 10 feet tall?
At least. I think, yeah. I'm assuming that Sanjay Dutt doesn't have that small of a torso.
Well, I'm just thinking, let's say you're proportionate.
But he has a big head, though. So he's got that going for him.
And he's short. So you figure leg to torso 3.5 feet, some maybe 10.5 or so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to see it happen. Do it.
So, at this point, if you haven't figured it out, there was a lot of interference by people like Danhausen, Orange Cassidy, Satnam Singh, Sanjay Dutt, because the final 3 ends up being Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Trent.
Yep. Yeah. Trent. I mean, but yeah, Trent had Orange Cassidy and Danhausen out there to make sure, Danhausen providing curses.
They both got helped a couple times.
Orange Cassidy. Oh yeah, he caught Trent and carried him over his shoulders back to the steps.
Yep.
That was pretty cool.
And
of course, Satnam caught both Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett at the same time.
One hand each.
Just his hand took up both of their whole backs. Like, good God. Dude is so gigantic.
Yeah. And then he catches after Lethal gets eliminated.
Uh-huh.
Uh, which, by the way, Dutt was sitting there holding Trent, and he just ends up back by dropping him. Anyway, so Satnam ends up helping Jared again, not getting eliminated before he's able to hit the stroke on Trent and eventually win.
Yeah. Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal.
Team number 3.
The tag team that nobody wants to see, but they're just gonna make us see.
You know what? There's one way I think you could save this. One way. Jay Lethal can do a good Ric Flair, right?
Yeah.
Ric Flair did the figure 4. Who else did the figure 4?
Other people who wrestle.
Well, a lot of people, but Jeff Jarrett, for one. Just make Jay Lethal do the Ric Flair, and they could just have dueling figure 4s all the time. And be annoying as hell. Honestly, I just want it because it's a way to give Lethal charisma.
Yeah. Because, yeah, he's kind of like taking a back seat with Jeff Jarrett around. And I don't like that.
Because at least when it was Dutt at first with, well, at first Lethal, then Lethal and Satnam, it was like Dutt was just a manager situation. Now it's a whole group and he's just falling behind everybody. Well, definitely Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett is getting way too much Jeff Jarrett time. I don't know what it is with that guy, but...
And not enough guitar shots.
Yeah. Nick, has he only done it once or twice now?
Well, there was a random stagehand when he showed up, and then it was Caster, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I know of 2. I feel like there might be one more, but yeah.
Okay, so I think there's a third in there. I can't remember.
I feel like there's another, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there was a third in there, but I don't know who. But he's been in AEW for far too long now to have only done that a couple times. Like, come on. If we got to keep looking at him, he better be smashing guitars over heads every week.
And they kind of set up the filler up until the pay-per-view for the next week, however many days. 10 days, actually. We know this because Lethal Team backstage says they're 10 days away from being champs, and then the Guns show up and they say, let's just make it us. Yeah. And take care of each other's business. So we know over, between now and Revolution, how that's going to go.
Yep. Please don't. I don't want to see Jarrett and Lethal versus the Acclaimed again.
I was actually trying to remember who is Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal's business right now. Best friends?
Like, yeah, I guess. So does that mean we definitely get the best friends winning the next one?
So then, best friends versus the Guns.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
mean, I haven't seen that, but I just the Acclaimed versus Jarrett and Lethal. What do we see that twice?
Twice for the titles, and then I feel like they were a part of 3 or. Then I think they were also a part of a 6-man tag or an 8-man tag at some point too.
Yeah,
because Sanjay Dutt wrestled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There were. Yeah, we've just seen all of that. So.
And on the plus side is though, if it's Guns versus Best Friends, they have to make it a non-title match because of the pay-per-view. If they do that, they just make that an attack backstage kind of thing. But if they try to do that, you can let the Best Friends get a big win No, it actually doesn't even make sense because we gotta figure out who the next tag team is in the next match on the last Dynamite before the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Because the next Dynamite is the
Casino.
Is the last Dynamite before. Huh. Well.
Hey, at least we know it won't get dragged out too long, though.
Yep. That's a nice thing. All right, so we're predicting best friends winning.
I can't really make this a video because I don't see too much of a big deal to it or to talk about. TK's big announcement.
Best friends. Sorry.
Which they made us wait to just a little bit before the main event because there was just a video package before it.
That was my thinking. I was like, it can't be that big of an announcement if he didn't do it right at the start of the show. Just if it's something that he feels is huge, he's like, I gotta get this right out right now.
That or going on right before the main event is kind of tough because you can imagine it being a big deal, but not necessarily earth-shattering. Like the Ring of Honor was a whole other company kind of announcement, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it was big booty. It was a real big booty.
I don't know how I feel about it.
All acts. It's it's gonna be a thing that I honestly probably, unless if I hear that it's good, I don't think I'm going to be watching.
And I also think it's going to be something that very much matters what they're featuring on that show. Because TK says, for major announcement, that's going to affect all of our stars. Let's bring in a major star to announce it. And it's Adam Cole. And he gives the example of it showing footage of like his training and getting back and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be multiple superstars per show?
Yeah.
It's
because... Yeah, if it's an hour show, and I don't know, I don't know if I could do that.
I just want to
probably wouldn't be able to sit through it.
I just want to know how they're gonna break it down. Like, so I'll probably watch it once or twice.
Yeah.
To kind of check it out, because if it's something where it's more so at the shows and it's a lot of cuts and you see a lot of people, kind of like what a BTE vlog is.
Yeah, but with their big ass budget and stuff,
and more serious. Because there's a lot of stuff they do on BTE that you cannot put on TV.
Yeah.
If it's something like that where it cuts around that much, I could deal with it. But if it's like, hey, we're gonna spend 15 minutes profiling like 3 different people, it's going to be something that very much is gonna depend on who you put on that episode.
Mm-hmm. And then, so the thing is, I think they're gonna probably do like one person per show, because that's gonna be a short series if you do more than one person, because there's not enough people that I feel like anybody is gonna watch the show for them to have more than like maybe like 10 episodes.
Yeah. Well,
even if they were to do like 2 people per show.
And that's why I think like one full hour long thing, there's an example that I can imagine. If it's an hour long special, kind of like a WWE's not 365, but there's another one like where they document what was the last MJF the day before or leading up to Full Gear.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's like a mini documentary, kind of like a 30 for 30 kind of situation.
Hey, that would be tight.
I could see that working, or it would have to be more like a BTE, but like more appropriate, where you're cutting around and you're just day to day. If it's profiles, yeah, I don't know. You'd have to make like profile 1, Serpentico, profile 2, Kenny Omega, and they each get a half hour because nobody's gonna watch Serpentico 1.
Yeah, I'm like, there's so few wrestlers that are a big enough draw to where someone's gonna be like, yeah, I need to watch this.
The only nice thing is if you do a combination of the two, you could imagine certain wrestlers are going to have certain moments on a regular basis. So let's say Kenny Omega has 2 very huge matches a year. Well, that means you get to do Kenny Omega twice. Let's say Jon Moxley, as much as he was like a fighting champion, has like 4 huge matches a year. You get to kind of revisit his like 4 times. So you can kind of always revisit some of your top guys if you have major stories for them.
That's true. That's true. I don't know.
I'm not confident in.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'll record it so that way I can speed through it and not have to watch the commercials or anything.
You know what? Doing that and not watching it live, which already tells you what our plans are, is still to be here right after the show.
Yeah.
Without even talking about it, I think it just became obvious.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, that's not something that I feel the need to watch live.
But being able to take the commercials out of it might be the biggest blessing for us trying to watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I was like, yep, I'm going to try and record it, and that way I can speed through, get rid of the commercials, and it's going to be a reality TV show, basically, so you know they're going to recap what happened before the break, so I can speed past that part, too. Like, then I'll probably only really watch, like, 30 minutes of show, but it might be good, because I'll only watch 30 minutes of something.
Tell me something. When's this show debut?
March.
That's all we know.
It starts in March, okay? They didn't say it starts March 1st, because March 1st is the next Wednesday, but they just said it starts in March. I'm like, all right, Adam Cole, when in March? And I was thinking maybe he just didn't know. But no, everybody didn't know. Nobody's, like, when they talked about it after him, they just said, yeah, in March.
Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, kind of talking about our opinions on what we expect out of this show, what was the bigger announcement? That they're adding a show, or finally we kind of have a rough idea when Adam Cole will be back, because he says he will wrestle the same night that show kicks off.
Yeah, he'll be back in March. Adam Cole's wrestling at some point in March, and a TV show is starting at some point in March. One thing that we probably know is that it'll be on a Wednesday. That's all we got. Some Wednesday in March, Adam Cole's wrestling, and a TV show is starting.
What if we find out that at some point during like March Madness, they preempt it, and it's gonna be a Tuesday.
It's gonna like, we know nothing. I thought we knew, but we know nothing.
If that happens, I need to save this recording.
Man,
we could probably actually look at tickets for that already.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Speaking of tickets, I've been
Haven't
watching like a hawk for when they're gonna say the sale for Detroit starts.
I think when we registered, I think it said no announcement was coming until at least April.
Oh, okay.
I could be entirely wrong, so don't trust me on that.
I will not.
All right, so let's see. All right, March 1st, that's a Wednesday, right? You already said it?
Yep.
There's Revolution, Wednesday, March 8th, Wednesday, March 15th, Wednesday the 22nd, Wednesday the 29th. It is scheduled for Wednesday every week in March.
Okay. All right. So it's starting March 1st.
The show? No, I was just saying that every Wednesday, or Dynamite's on a Wednesday. There's no movement to like a Tuesday or anything at this moment. Everything's already scheduled ticket wise.
Oh, okay. The Dynamites are all scheduled so we know at least it's on a Wednesday. All right, we got that. We know one thing about it. It's on a Wednesday in March. He didn't say that it's going to be this year's March. He didn't say that. It could be next year March.
Don't say that. That means no Adam Cole until forever.
Yeah, that would suck. He'd be like, that would be like the most heel thing to do. He'd be like, yeah, I didn't say this March. He'd be like, all right, fuck you, dude.
I'm actually retiring, and this show is never happening. I lied.
Yeah, he's like April Fools. Yeah, February bitches.
Hold on. Calendar. What if April Fools? Or what if April 1st is on a Friday? Oh, it's a Saturday. If it was a Friday where you could be on TV on April Fools.
Yeah. That would be great. Like, April Fools, we're not doing that stupid show.
Wait, it was supposed to
wrestling.
It was supposed to happen in March. At that point, we would know something's up.
Yeah, there we go. Very next show.
That'd be so fucked up, everybody.
Oh man.
The most pointless segment might have just became our best segment.
Ah, man. I would love that. I think that would be hilarious. They wouldn't do it, but it would be hilarious.
It'd be funny looking back at history at it, like as a story.
I'd be like, yo.
But during, I'd be like, what the fuck is happening?
Like, you remember the greatest heel turn of all time?
He announced a whole day of TV show.
Like, he made up a fake TV show and had ran the gag a whole month and then told everyone on April 1st, April Fools.
And then
There's
somehow
no TV show.
And somehow got
And
the
you didn't get
owner to
see
go
me wrestle,
involved.
Yeah. Yep. We're just to go with it. Come on, AEW, write that up.
Oh god. There was a match on this show. I mean, there was a few of them, but Story versus Sky Blue. There's so many things that don't make sense with this match. And also wasn't even that good. It's there for story reasons. And I feel like we harp on this every AEW show now. Like, it's a very big annoyance. They don't do enough with the women.
The women's segments are just like thrown in, they feel like, most of the time. And and it's sad because they've got some women on the roster that could use some time to show how good they are.
Okay.
And, yeah, but
understandably, they did have the main event last week, and they tried to run a story with it, and it came off awkward.
yeah, that was rough. That was really rough.
But also one of the better main events. I think it happened this year. It might have happened in December. I can't remember exactly what week. But that was it Sheeta and Hater? Yeah, that main event
match. That was a really good match. That was one of the better matches of my recent memory. They're probably the best women's match I've seen in AEW.
So to start off, Sky Blue doesn't even get an entrance.
Sky Blue.
And yet, Tony Storm, I know 2 times, but might have been 3. But I know at least 2 times, Tony Storm had to distract Sky Blue to help out Saraya. But Saraya is supposed to be this big bad bitch, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she is. But you know, why do stuff when Tony Storm can do stuff for you? Because Aubrey didn't pay any attention to Tony Storm. Tony Storm's just throwing Sky Blue all over the place. And Aubrey's just like, yeah, I didn't hear or see anything, so whatever.
Yeah. So for the match to be as short as it was, but for Saraya not really having to do too much to Sky Blue, like he's the one that's getting the chances to try to get the one up on Saraya, then Saraya gets help. If Saraya's supposed to be that good, the interference doesn't make as much sense. But at the same time, if she's getting most of the offense in, and it's still, the match was so short. It's just frustrating from that aspect that, like, all right, if this is a story that you're telling, you're trying to make Sky Blue competitive, give it a longer match.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I guess that was their way of making her seem competitive still, but giving her a quick loss. Because it's like, oh, she had to go against both Tony Storm and Saraya.
I mean, I can't hate it because it makes sense, but the overall scheme of how little that the women are given,
yeah,
at least if you're gonna give them that little, let them do better.
Yeah, you got to give them a little bit more than that. I don't know. This story, I feel like it could have been better. This whole thing that's brewing right now with Saraya, Jamie, and Ruby.
You know what? I could even feel a little bit more justified in how little all this went if you had Jade on the show. Just to get more stories out there. Like, okay, that's a little bit shorter, but it allowed for another thing. But no, it was just a short match and one little after. About the same people.
Yeah, just same usual kind of thing happens after the match. You know, heels can't stop beating up on people.
Yeah. They had
Jamie and Britt were like, all right, we're going to come out there.
That spray paint can ready.
So they could spray some L's. And they just sprayed it on a DMD sign.
They're just jealous.
The whole Mean Girls thing is super weird.
So they start to run up the stage, and then Ruby Soho's music hits, and she pops out onto the stage.
Destination unknown.
And, they still kind of play up the who's doing what, or what side she's going to choose.
Which side is she going to pick? She picked the side of the title. That's the side that she picked. And I'm like, hell yeah, Ruby, that's the side that I would pick too. Like, you know what? Fuck all that. I want a title shot.
She's yelling down at Jamie, who's at ringside. She's at the top of the stage, and she's just basically like, fuck all that noise. Like, freaking them, get out of the way. I want the title.
Mm-hmm.
Which, what we speculated on in recent videos is happening, because later on we saw Jamie respond to it, and it just says, throw Soraya in there too.
Yeah. Well, the way that she presented it was that Soraya was the one that she definitely thinks needs a shot, and and Ruby hasn't lost this year, so yeah, put her in there, so too.
That makes no fucking sense, though.
Right? Not at all. But that was the way it was presented, though.
You mean this woman who's barely wrestled in AEW
mm-hmm.
and had to get a lot of... I don't want to harp back to that match, but the Rubies just won that big match. Anything else?
Yeah. We were talking about it during the show. This was her second singles match in AEW.
But we said like very, very small.
One wasn't even this year, right?
Not sure, but I'm still kind of happy that it became a three-way.
Right. Yeah, her other singles match was at last pay-per-view. So she's only had one singles match this year, and she deserves the title shot.
So let's see. They had Rampage tag match, a Dynamite tag match. Yeah, last single at Full Gear.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. And then it legitimately skips on this listing to 2017 with an entirely different company.
Mm-hmm.
So her fourth match in 6 years was tonight. It was, as you said, only singles match number 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hey, reputation gets you a title shot, I guess. People think you're deserving. But, I mean, we saw it coming.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of still like it because it does open up a little bit more space for doubt in terms of how this could go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we don't know what's going to happen here. No, because I was saying before, if it was just Jamie versus Ruby one-on-one, I actually thought that Ruby might come out with the belt.
Yeah, there was...
And turn heel. But with this being a 3-way, I think it could go any way. Any one of the 3. So yeah, that'll be cool.
Because even though the kind of like the odds are kind of the same, like, hey, there's only a couple, 2 or 3 different ways that can go. It was... The sad part is if it was the one-on-one, you knew it was either going to be a Jamie win, or if Ruby did win, you know it was going to be without an heel turn. So this just kind of being a lot more up in the air.
Completely unpredictable now, yeah. I dig it. Because, I mean, we knew that this was going to be the match, but not knowing how it's going to end is what makes it fun. Because a lot of times, you're just like, well, I know this is gonna happen for sure. They're, they've been better recently about surprising you, I feel like.
I mean, the main event surprised me tonight, but we already talked about it. Do we need to talk about Ricky Stark's segment?
Ricky Starks and his Bugs Bunny promo with Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it was dumb. It was entertaining, but it was dumb at the same time. And Ricky
The story's
Starks
obvious.
gave him that, classic Bugs Bunny of, well, you don't want to face me.
I goaded you into it.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? He's like, you're so good. You're you're one of the greatest of all time, and blah blah blah. You know what? I know you could beat me. You don't even need your friends. And then Jericho's like, yeah, I don't need my friends. I'm gonna leave them in the back. With his spiked jacket on.
Yeah. I mean, we knew this match was coming.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of how do you kill time to get there.
Yeah. So you just do a Bugs Bunny promo. And
you can't outsmart me.
FUD. Yeah. I feel like Ricky Starks made it with his facial expressions. Because otherwise this was a what the fuck, man. Why?
Honestly,
but Ricky Starks' facial expressions makes this so good.
when Jericho says you can't outsmart me, and he signs it, does all that stuff, and then he leaves the ring, and they get that great shot of Ricky, and he just winks.
Grin. He's just like, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I like that. Just because Ricky had some good facial expressions. Jericho, I love that Jericho is willing to play this idiot heel character. Yeah, like ridiculous character.
And even made a list reference. I mean, not verbally.
Yeah. I was really hoping that he was going to list something. Anything. Just.
You want to know what would have been perfect? The only way that I can think it makes sense within the context of that promo was, remember when he started going on a list about his accolades, like Le Champion, I'm this, best of greatest of all time, kind of thing. The only thing I could imagine is if he had said, would you like a list of my accolades or something like that?
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be the same kind of list, so... Although it'd be like the WCW list of 1,004 holds. I have 1,004 accolades. Do you want to hear them?
I would like it. Do it, Jericho. No, do it. Like if he did, I feel like he should just do it. Like before he retires, he should just go back and do a list. Just do it. Just make references to all his like old great promos like that.
I'd have to remember how they did it, but during one of his early big events, it might have been All In, but it also could have, no, I'm not sure. I don't think it was All In, but it might have been for the World Championship title. In the very beginning, they had like the spotlight, and they had little people dressed up as Jericho throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
But for him to actually come out and do one, like just do a month where you recreate them at the very end.
I'd be down. Like I said, I just want him to do his like just go back and give us some nostalgia stuff. When you're ready to hang him up, though, you know, keep doing what you're doing for now.
You know, the only one I kind of want him to avoid specifically is Conspiracy Jericho. Because I feel like that's such a basic heel thing now.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Let's just go with the standouts.
Because I know that's what really started to set him apart in WCW. Because that was the whole Dean Malenko story and everything.
Yeah, he always thought everyone was out to get him. That was a really good story.
The only time give you the same response I'll give you every time this one comes up. When you can get the crowd to go that crazy for Dean Malenko, you are doing something right.
Yeah. Yeah, damn. It's so wild. That man had zero personality. Like, he was all in-ring skills. So I'm like, as a kid, I was always like, why this guy? And now as an adult, I'm like, oh, that dude could wrestle his ass off. That's why he was around, even though he had no personality.
And he didn't have the look that you expect either for, like, a star, either.
Mm-mm.
He just looked like a dad off the street, kind of.
Pretty much. Dean Malenko. Like, yeah, he just looked like standard New Jersey dad.
So speaking of dads, Daddy Ass was on the show tonight. As the Acclaimed took on Big Bill, a name I do not hate as much as I used to. It doesn't repulse me saying it.
Big Bill.
And Lee Moriarty.
Tiger Style. Lee Moriarty is Tiger Style, and his mom's favorite position is Doggy Style.
I don't know if you caught it, so let me know. But after Caster used the SAWFT line on Big Bill, I thought I saw him real quick, and it looked like he had a genuine kind of laugh on his face.
Yeah, it looked like he was he had to, like, turn away because he laughed. He probably wasn't ready for that.
So, normally to start the match, we get any match with the Acclaimed. There's one chant that always starts off the match now, and it's been that way for a while. And which one's that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, scissor me, daddy.
So I was used to that, but then it threw me off, and like you kind of reacted the same way, and then the commentators finally clarified it. It was the one after that. I was like, oh, that's cool. Scissorzona.
Yeah, Scissorzona. Scissorzona. That was cool.
But the Acclaim still very, very much over, but now that they've lost the titles, it's good to still see that reaction, but I feel like they're kind of losing momentum. Like, you gotta give them a good story, and I don't like any of the other people they're dealing with right now, so that daddy ass turn could really help.
Yeah, I feel like they were losing their momentum, or because they had already beaten everybody, and they were just kind of there.
They needed another really good story.
They pretty much beat all the major tag teams.
And we were on to the boring ones.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
A question about AEW production on TV. Why do the guns come out onto the stage during picture-in-picture?
That drove me nuts. Because isn't this the second week in a row that they came out during picture-in-picture?
I don't remember, but I feel like we've seen it once recently, so it would make sense if it's them. How do you put defining moments in commercial?
Within the last within the last few weeks, the guns came out twice during picture in picture.
Defining moments shouldn't be during commercial. I mean, I guess not defining moment, but it's what led to it. It mattered.
Yeah. Yeah, because after all that, they're like, oh yeah, the guns came out while you guys were looking at Arby's commercials.
At some point, I don't remember how he got there, but Billy was like knocked down on the ground ringside, and they finally came down to ringside, and they just boom, shot right to the head. I don't really know what happened after that till the very end. I kind of completely spaced.
Yeah. That match wasn't all that. It wasn't anything special to write about. I like Lee Moriarty and Anthony Bowens in the ring against each other. The spots when they were in the ring together looked really nice, which makes sense because they are definitely the two better wrestlers out of the two groups. Mm-hmm. And Lee Moriarty probably being like one of the best in general.
Some of the matches has had lately have really been like eye-opening.
Yeah. Like lately, seeing Lee Moriarty more lately, I'm like, oh.
I mean, you can go back in time to however long ago, and obviously we knew he was technical and he was putting on good matches, but there's just been some lately that really a different level for me. Like, damn, that was so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's getting good. He's getting good. Even though he lost today.
He got hit with the arrival by Bowens, and you see Caster start climbing up the ring steps at that point for the tag, the mic drop, and the win.
Drop that mic for the win, baby. Before we leave the Acclaimed, do we think that there's a chance that the Acclaimed get the belts back at Revolution? Do you think? I kind of don't think they will, but
I know you said you have your expectations as regards to. I think you're kind of right in regards to the Guns managing to retain, and it's going to be in one of those sneaky ways. I feel like that's the only way that makes sense. Unless TK can't handle the backlash that they got at first for it, but we've talked about it for weeks now. That turn, it makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, I think you got to do a daddy ass turn and keep the belts on the Guns. Because, God, you can't put the belts on Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. You cannot.
I'm going to go have a nightmare now.
I would die. I could not deal with that at all. Oh.
Here might be like my one exception.
If Jeff Jarrett only uses the guitar.
I mean specifically for them. In the Casino Battle Royal on Dynamite, if the Joker is FTR.
Okay.
Even though there's so many reports and stuff saying they're not around right now. And they don't plan to be. Dax also recently said he misses wrestling. I don't know. But that's about the only way. And even if it was FTR, considering their beef with the Guns, a daddy ass turn and a sneaky win still makes all the sense in the world. You want to build another set of stars, make everybody hate them.
Yep. Yeah. So that's what I would like for them to do. But I do, even if daddy ass doesn't turn, I would see them still retaining. One, because they have yet to defend the belts.
True.
I don't think they're gonna just
True.
be like, yeah, we're gonna take these belts off you in your first defense.
But I think the daddy ass turn is how you can get them heat.
Yeah.
And kind of rejuvenate a shot in the arm and the Acclaimed.
Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, that'll make people be like, oh, poor Acclaimed. They lost their daddy.
I'm looking. The only thing left was the Christian Jack Perry. Definitely Jack Perry segment. And
yeah, he's Jungle Boy still in my heart.
It happened. For the sake of this, it's definitely not clip worthy, so we don't have to try to drag it out.
Mm-hmm.
But it matters.
Yeah, it does. I thought it was really cool that Jungle Boy attacked Christian as soon as he, like Tony Schiavone's out there. And here we go, we have Christian Cage. And as he's walking out, he like barely gets out of the tunnel and just gets tackled immediately by Jungle Boy.
And honestly, I didn't know what to expect after that point because like he had total control of Christian Cage for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had him down. He even went and got 2 chairs. Set his face up on the one chair. He was about to do the Christian chair spot thing.
It might be copyrighted, but concerto.
But yeah, that. He was about to do it. Then he hesitated.
Low
He's
blow.
like, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And then Christian's like, nah. Low blow. I got you. Mm-mm-mm.
Man, and then just after the low blow, he hits him once with the chair, then lays him down. Jungle Jack Perry. I'm trying to get into that transition because I know. He lays it down on a chair. You think maybe Christian might go to do a concerto, but no, he just takes his head and smashes it into the chair over and over and over again.
Yeah, he did that a lot.
Eventually security and all that, but I will say maybe acting's in his genes just a little bit because when they had to show him, like when he lifted his head up and you saw his face, he did a pretty good job of looking like knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, he looked like Liu Kang's brother when Shang Tsung was holding him up in the Mortal Kombat movie.
Like, the eyes were there, but it didn't feel like anybody was looking through him.
Yeah, he was dead. He did the dead eye thing really good, yeah.
Am I crazy? Are we missing anything? I guess timing-wise, we're right around normal.
Yeah, this is normal. I think we got everything.
So, with that being said, there's one thing I realized forgot. But it's not about the show. It's about our show. If you managed to watch this as a VOD, the live, and you made it all the way this far, do us a favor. It makes all the sense in the world. Just go hit that like button. And if you aren't already, subscribe as well.
Please do.
All right. And stop by on Friday night as we do our live Rampage watch-alongs because that shit goes on way too late and we don't review after. But we'll talk about it with you as it happens.
Yeah. It's a more of a casual chat hangout. So it's fun. Come hang out with us on Friday.
See our live reactions.
Yeah. You're gonna hear us scream "oh shit" a lot.
Or, for instance, if it was for Dynamite tonight, you would have seen a whole lot of kind of like freaking out as Evil Uno spilled buckets of blood. Oh, It's very animated.
Yeah.
So come see us on Friday night.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Stop in.
Have a great night.